When you go to Japan, you probably don't know what to eat or which food is nicer or which food you should avoid because there are different kinds of food that is very extreme or exotic. So today in this video, I would like to explain 10 different food that you should know when you come to Japan. The first food I want to talk about is fugu. Fugu is a delicious food. I love fugu. I used to eat a lot, but it's quite expensive. And one thing that you should know is fugu is a poisonous fish. Maybe you might be scared of poisonous fish and you might get like poison. Well, you don't really have to worry about it because fugu must be carefully prepared to remove all toxic parts, and only specifically trained and licensed chefs are allowed to have it. So you don't really have to worry about getting food poison from fugu. However, you should be a little bit concerned about if the person who is serving the dish has a fugu license, especially your friend says that like, I have a license for serving fugu, so I can cut fugu for you. But you should definitely check the license if the person has. If you go to a restaurant, it's probably safe. So fugu is basically eat with raw, or you can do shabu shabu, which is like hot pot. The texture is like little bit bouncy, and they cut really thin, so the texture is very nice when you eat it. And I really love it. I used to eat it, but the price is a bit expensive, so if you want to try, maybe you can go try. Before moving on, I have a big announcement for you. Recently, I have created an online Japanese shop, and you can buy like Ukiyo-e design t-shirts, chopsticks, posters, hanging wall clothes, and you should definitely check it out. There's a link in the description, so please check it. And the second food I want to explain is the basashi. Basashi is a raw horse meat, and some people might be surprised or get intimidated by it, but the dish is famous in Kumamoto Prefecture, which is the place I'm from. Yeah, basashi is very popular in Kumamoto Prefecture. They usually eat it with raw, like sashimi, like thin sliced meat. You usually dip with this like little bit of soy sauce and ginger. I sliced ginger with it. I ate it a lot. If you have eaten like very rare meat, I think the texture will be like that. It doesn't have any weird smell. Actually, it is tasty, surprisingly. There's an English idiom saying like I can eat a horse or something, but you can actually eat it, and it is very popular in Japan, and you can eat it in Kumamoto Prefecture. So if you come visit, you can get it there. The third food I want to explain is takoyaki. Takoyaki is like a bowl, like a snack bowl that has octopus in it, and octopus is another dish that you'll be surprised when you come to Japan. And takoyaki is mainly famous in Osaka region, and it is made of flour, eggs, and dashi, served with a variety of sauces such as oyster sauce and mayonnaise and bonito flakes. And this is also my favorite food as well. I mean, you could basically eat anywhere in Japan. People who can cook the takoyaki, they can rotate the bowl very quickly, and they have a good skill, so nice to watch them. And if you have a chance, you can order it and see how people cook. It's very fascinating and amazing. So the next dish I want to explain is shabu shabu. Shabu shabu is basically a type of hot pot dish originating from Japan, of course. It consists of like thin sliced meat like beef or pork and vegetables, and you put the vegetables in a pot. Cook your meat with your chopsticks for like 3 to 7 seconds. Then after cooking it, you eat with any kind of sauce that you want. So you will use the broth when you eat shabu shabu, and the common ones are like flavorful dashi based broth, dipping them, and then after that you can enjoy the meal. This is commonly eaten when it is cold, especially in winter, and I used to eat that. And you can eat with rice. This is like type of dish that you can enjoy with your family. When I was a child, my mother used to cook shabu shabu for me. It is actually easy dish to cook because you only have to dip the ingredients and the meat. So if you are lazy or if you don't want to cook, it is like a good dish that you can cook. And when I was living alone, I used to cook like shabu shabu or hot pot because of its easy process. So the next food I want to explain is karaage. Karaage is basically like deep fried chicken, and it's not exotic food at all. You can basically enjoy eating it if you like chicken. Yeah, it's just fried chicken that you can normally eat, and maybe in your country it's similar to that. And karaage is a very popular dish in Japan. The size is quite small and you can eat it with your one bite. And this dish was very popular in the Edo period in Japan, and it was like a common street food. It has the mixture of soy sauce, ginger, garlic, and other seasonings. If you dip the chicken into sauces for a long time, karaage, the texture of the meat will be softer and it will be more delicious. Yeah, that is basically karaage. And if you are vegetarian, I'm sorry, but I feel like Japan has less vegetarian restaurants. So if you are a vegetarian, it might be difficult for you to find some restaurants. So you should be careful about it. So the next food I want to explain is monjayaki. Monjayaki is like a liquid type of dish, and it is made of liquid batter, and it is mixed with a variety of ingredients. I used to eat it a lot. This food is also similar to takoyaki or okonomiyaki, and it is also popular in Osaka. I really love how I cook the monjayaki, because you can basically, there's a procedure that you can do to make the monjayaki. It might be very complicated, but when you get used to it, you can do it. You pour the ingredients in a circle, and you pour the soup in the middle, and basically you take your own spoon, dig in and eat it. It is fun to cook as well. If you could make the ingredients brown and crispy, it will be more tasty. So if you haven't tried, you go ahead and try. Maybe you can see okonomiyaki place as well. Okonomiyaki and monjayaki is like a similar thing, so definitely try. So the next food I want to explain is natto. Some people might know natto, and it has strong flavor and sticky. The texture is maybe weird, and a lot of foreigners don't like the natto because it's unusual, and the food it's not really like pleasant smell, so a lot of people avoid it. Even Japanese people don't like it. It is basically like fermented soybeans. Actually, natto is known as like nutritious food that has like protein, and it can keep your health better. A lot of Japanese people eat it to make themselves healthy as well. Natto also has a lot of benefits actually, so maybe if you haven't tried it, try it. In the long term, eating natto will be beneficial for you. Eighth food that I want to explain is the bento box. Bento box is basically a box that has food in it, and it's not just food but different kinds of food that you can enjoy. And some people are very creative for the bento. Some people make Pokemon or anime characters in the bento, and children are very excited to eat at school. Basically, bento is made for school, and people bring their bentos at school and they can eat it. I used to bring bento to my school as well. The original bento is actually in the Edo period. Well, it was used for like countries of offices or schools or train stations. So bento boxes you can buy on a bullet train that you can enjoy, or you can buy at the airport. Bento has a high quality. It is made to serve in a relatively cold temperature, so the food may not be hot as you eat at a restaurant, but it is good even though the food is not hot. Strongly associated with school or childhood to most of the Japanese people, including me. Also, bento boxes come in different shapes or styles and sizes, and it can be made of a variety of materials including wood, plastic, or metal. Some bento boxes can also keep the soup in it, and the soup will be hot for like a couple of hours, so you can enjoy like miso soup in a bento box like metal. So the next thing I want to explain is the gyudon. Gyudon is basically beef and rice, and beef is on top of the rice. It is like commonly eaten in Japan. Gyudon is like, I don't know, national food in Japan. A lot of workers eat that after going to work. They go to gyudon restaurant and they eat it. and it is totally fine to eat by yourself, and some restaurants serve for individual customers. So if you are afraid of going to a restaurant in Japan by yourself, it is totally fine, and it is a Japanese culture that you eat alone at a restaurant. It may sound a little bit lonely, but Japanese people are quite busy, and some people don't want to waste time cooking food. So a lot of people, especially if you're single, go to a restaurant like that serve gyudon, like Matsuya or Yoshinoya. Then they can eat food and they serve very fast, like it's like a fast food like McDonald's. So it's almost like going to McDonald's and eat food. You don't really mind eating alone. So that's basically the concept of gyudon. But some restaurants of course actually serve high quality expensive gyudon, and if you're gonna wanna go to those kind of restaurants, you better go with your friends. I used to eat it a lot, and it is my favorite dish that I could eat every day, almost every day. Quality is actually amazing compared to the price, and yeah, maybe you could try that. So the last dish I want to explain, maybe it's the 10th, I lost the count of it, is ikizukuri. And ikizukuri is basically the fish that is alive but has some fish meat on it, and it usually served with a big fish board. And ikizukuri is very famous dish also in Japan. Skillful chef can cut the fish without killing it. Some people might ethically disagree with this idea, but it is a traditional food that can be served in Japan. It is dated back in 200 years ago, and a lot of people like it. And it is served as sashimi, and if you want to celebrate something, or if you get married, or if you graduated from school, usually people go to restaurants and order those kind of things because it's very huge. It's huge, and a lot of people eat it in a special occasions. That is the last food that I want to explain. Overall, Japan serves different kinds of food, which is very tasty, but some people might not like it, but some people like it, and it has like sometimes strong smells or unique texture or something that you've never heard of. So if you're interested in other like food that you want to explore, or you didn't know, or you want to know more, please leave some comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel, and see you